Our next speakers we're very honored to have today. They're Laurie and Jared Berezin, who many of you know began the bearing witness at the ICE detention facility in Burlington. I invite them up to the stage.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here to stand up against tyranny of today, as my ancestors did fighting in the American Revolution. I'd like to tell you about a woman named Crystal. Crystal was born in Colombia. She's 34 years old and lives in Revere with her husband, who's a permanent resident of the US. Crystal has no criminal record, not even a parking ticket, and has been following a legal pathway to citizenship. Earlier this year, Crystal attended her scheduled asylum hearing at Boston Immigration Court, where a judge continued her case and scheduled her next hearing date. Upon leaving the courtroom, Crystal was arrested by ICE and brought to the Burlington ICE office. In a sworn affidavit, Crystal described her imprisonment there. Quote, "At Burlington, there were no beds. I had to sleep on the concrete floor with just a Mylar blanket. There was a toilet in the little cell that I was in, but no door. It was out in the open. The room was so small that we could not lay down at the same time. Two of us could lay down and the third had to sit up, leaning against the toilet so that we could all fit. They barely gave us food. I lost approximately 7 pounds during the 7 days I was detained in Burlington." She continued, "I was freezing the whole time I was in Burlington. It was very painful to sleep on the floor for so many days. I was not allowed to shower while I was in Burlington. There was no soap to wash my hands after going to the bathroom. I was not allowed to brush my teeth at all. I wore the clothes I arrived in the whole time I was there. I was scared I was going to get an infection because I still had stitches from my surgery. There was no option for personal hygiene. I was afraid to ask for medicine because I was scared I would get yelled at and things would get worse. There was one officer who was mistreating me psychologically. He was telling me to stop bothering him and asking for things. He was arrogant. He was telling me that it was my lawyer's fault that I was there. He yelled, quote, "The lawyers think they know everything, but they don't know anything." He yelled at me a lot. He put my picture on the door of my cell and told the other officers not to give me anything because I had asked for too much. I don't know how they expected me to never ask for anything. I was wearing the same clothes for 7 days. I was freezing. I needed medication. The small cell had no windows that looked outside. The wall that faced the hallway was glass. It felt like I was being in a fishbowl. I had no idea what time of day it was because there were no clocks. I felt like I was being tortured.
Now, when Crystal's lawyers came to Burlington to meet with her, the officers there refused to even let them inside the building. Now, you don't need to be a legal expert to know that Crystal's constitutional rights were being violated. The 5th and 14th Amendments of our Constitution state that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So let me ask you, is Crystal a person?
Yes.
Was she deprived of liberty? So now let me ask you, is Crystal a person who is deprived of liberty without due process? The 8th Amendment of our Constitution states that cruel and unusual punishments shall not be inflicted. Crystal was imprisoned in an overcrowded, windowless cell, denied basic hygiene and medicine, and given hardly any food or water. So let me ask you, is this cruel and unusual punishment? More than 4,000 immigrants, our neighbors, have been abducted in Massachusetts since January. According to ICE's own published data, more than 80% have no criminal history, not even minor traffic violations. But let's get one thing straight. Whether a person has a criminal record or no criminal record, whether they are an immigrant or a US-born citizen, everyone in this country has constitutional rights. We're going to keep showing up until those rights are fully restored and respected. For the past 6 months, we've been bearing witness at the ICE Burlington office every Wednesday. Now, when you go to a place every week for 6 months, you might think that you would get used to being there. We have not gotten used to being there. That place disgusts us now more than it ever has. We're filled with sadness, heartbreak, anger, and frustration. But we're not filled with loneliness. Our numbers have grown. Hundreds join us each week. And here today, right now, none of us should feel alone as we stand together for justice and democracy. Now, our government and their agents remain committed to violence, while their collaborators have chosen servitude, ignorance, and silence. We believe in their humanity. We hope that some of them make a different choice, but we can't rely on that to happen. We can't wait for imaginary heroes to pop up out of government and law enforcement. Not while lives are being destroyed every day. It's up to us. The only way we can succeed is if we grow this movement. Now, Dr. King taught us that the core element to building a large-scale resistance is a commitment to nonviolence. This is vital, I believe, for one simple reason. Peace is always more welcoming than violence. Love is always more welcoming than cruelty. Now, our government and their allies stand in a brutal solidarity. Let us continue to stand in a loving solidarity. We must welcome everyone who supports immigrants and their rights, regardless of their views on any other political or social issues. We must accept imperfections and differences, because in this critical moment, we cannot afford to be picky about our allies. And for those of us who are U.S.-born citizens, we must accept our privilege and use it to stand where our neighbors cannot.
We will continue meeting at the ICE building located at 1000 District Avenue in Burlington every Wednesday from 11 to 1 to bear witness to the cruelty of our government and show the immigrants forced to be there that we support them. If you know someone who is worried about our neighbors and our democracy but has yet to take action, please encourage them to do so. Invite them to join you at an event, whether it's standing with us on Wednesdays in Burlington or at another action, or help them get connected with organizations doing great work in our communities. Whatever path you take, remember that the truth is on our side, morality is on our side, the law is on our side, and we need you in this fight. We're so grateful to be here today, and we're honored to stand with you against tyranny. Thank you.